In accordance with the requirements of the open meeting law, please be advised that this meeting will be recorded and can be found on the Lunenburg Access YouTube channel within 24 hours of the meeting. The public is being conducted remotely. The following information is provided for the members of the public that would like to participate in the meeting. The remote part to participate remotely, actually check the agenda. All the information is on there. I'm going to call the meeting to order at 3:03 on Tuesday, May 16th. Before we do anything, we'd like to know if there's any public comment. No hands raised? Okay, thank you very much. The open meeting, we'll approve the meeting. We're going to review and approve the meetings of March 28th to 23. Has everybody read the minutes? Can I get a motion?
Minutes from prior meeting.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The minutes have been approved. The next thing on the agenda would be to determine the procedure to be used with regards to the abatement process and to what degree the applicants will be able to participate. We have a number of options. The first is a full executive session. The second would be public comment limited to 1 hour, 2 minutes per participant, new information only. And the third, the participant included in an executive session. Any comments?
Speaking from a personal standpoint, I just think that the most practical of the three options is probably number two. Number one just doesn't give the public any opportunity to provide additional input if they see. And I think number three is practicable from a pure time standpoint.
So would you make a motion to, well, I happen to agree with you.
Okay.
Make a motion to accept that number two?
Motion to allow for 2 minutes per applicant for new information only to their abatement process and public comment to be limited to 1 hour per meeting.
Second. I'll second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
So again, one more time, it's the public comment will be limited to 1 hour. We hope to start these abatements next Tuesday. We have some abatement completions from MFS from Nate Kramer. I feel we should review as many as possible after public comment on the first day and adjourn at 6 p.m. after starting at 3, because we really don't know what we're doing. This is a first for everybody. During the initial meeting, 1 hour again would be allocated for public comments. All abatement applications are invited to participate, speak for 2 minutes only with comments limited to new information. It's very important because of the fact that we've actually had site visits. So it'd be new information that you could bring forth. Once the hour is elapsed, any applicants who have not had the opportunity to comment can return for the next abatement meeting. Executive session at that point will then commence. Public comment will not be available after these individuals attending this meeting have spoken. As I said before, we've received over 100 abatement completions from Kramer and Company. I feel we should review as many as possible and adjourn by 6 o'clock, and we'll see how far we get. That would give us a great idea as to what we can do and what we can accomplish. I don't know if we need to take a vote on that.
A vote on.
Well, we did. We already voted.
Yeah, we already voted.
We just to let the public know what we're going to do. Is this on? So Are there any comments? Any questions? Lou?
I think Lou, yeah.
Yeah, Lou Franco, 250 Arbor Street. And I just want to clarify. So you're saying that individual applicants are going to be able to comment in public comment? Like how are you like their abatement is confidential, so how are they gonna comment on their abatement in public comment?
Well, this is just bringing new information only, Lou. Like, for example, the dock fell down, or, you know, it's something that's really out of the ordinary. As far as that goes. And what we want to do is give them an opportunity that if there's something we don't know, to bring it forth, and we would jot it down and consider it in the actual executive session application process.
All right, so I just want to clarify. So they're doing this within the confines of an executive session?
No, it would be a general meeting, public comment for an hour, 2 minutes, 2 minute limitation per person, per participant. And then at the end of the hour, if there's anybody who has not spoken, it would be carried on to the next meeting. And then we would, when everybody has spoken, we would then go into executive session for probably a 2-hour period and go through all the abatements that we can.
All right, so anybody that shows up to publicly comment on their particular abatement, I mean, to some extent, their abatement, the fact that they even have an abatement application pending will not be confidential at that point because they'll be publicly commenting.
Yeah, and I don't know if the fact they filed an abatement, isn't that public record?
Well, it is once, if one is granted, it certainly is, yeah. So
all it is giving them an opportunity. I mean, how many people have spoken at the town meeting, during the Zoom meetings?
yeah, I mean, I'm only just pointing it out. You know, your process is your process. So that's all.
And like I said, it's new information only, which we don't know at this point.
If they do, in all honesty, if they, I'm sorry, go ahead, sir. Okay, I was just gonna say.
Did you get here, Kevin?
Go ahead, Mr. Hudson. You're done.
Oh, am I there? Thank you. Bill Hudson, 90 Hemlock Drive. If you're in the process of approving the assessments that you have in front of you, 100, how is an applicant going to know that you're working on theirs today? So they don't have a chance.
Well, the public comment is going to be general, Bill.
Okay.
So it's going to be up front. Something new. I can't emphasize that more.
No, I can understand that, but if nobody knows what the information that's been provided is, let's just say an individual's house was assessed at $1 million, and now the report comes back and says, oh no, I believe that it's only $800,000. But if the applicant doesn't know $800,000 and they put 750 or they put 850,000 and you approve it, then we're going to have to go back and argue about it. I'm trying to understand where you're going. That's all.
Okay, that's a fair question. Can you do anything about that echo?
Bill, can you mute yourself? You're echoing.
Okay. What this is if, because we don't know either. If the building has been, if the parcel has been assessed at, say, $800,000, and the team, the MFS team, has changed it to 750, we don't know that either. And at this point, we could actually totally eliminate the public comment, because all the public comment is going to be new items. I think that's basically what we're going to do. And if the applicant does not like the result, then they can go to the ATB.
Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome.
Just a quick thing. I don't want to I'm sorry to cut. Renee is trying to get on, but also there are people in the waiting room trying to get in. I know that Jack Rabbit and Tom Alonso were trying to get in.
Okay,
And Renee has her hand up.
so Renee,
Thank you. Two questions. One is, am I correct in understanding that new information is any information that is included or not? Let me back up. New information is anything not included in the MFS report.
new information not included in the original abatement application or well, actually, they don't know about the MFS report, nor do we.
That's okay. That leads into my next question. I think that the residents, the homeowners need to see the MFS report
The
before the
MFS
abatement
The
hearing.
MFS report is online, and we encourage all
But-
homeowners to take a look.
But that is very general. That's the public version. It doesn't address Nate's notes on the individual site visits he's recently completed.
Well,
Are there
that-
reports and notes on the individual homes that the homeowners should, for their own home, should be able to get prior to their abatement hearing? Do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand your question, but I
Yeah.
don't really, at this point, we're looking at the reports that Nate Kramer's put forth. We haven't, they're downstairs. They just came in. So we haven't, we have not seen them either.
Right, but you will come abatement hearing time,
I'm pardon.
correct?
What's that?
There's no individual reports.
CJ says that there are no individual reports. And most of the stuff is based on land quality. And it's using certain percentages. And if the people read the town report, they might be able to get some kind of an idea. But the only thing what the town report doesn't do is say that property A is
Yes.
low quality, property B is average.
Right.
And so
Right. Or any discrepancies that were found regarding the property card. I know on parts of Townsend Harbor, the site index 1 property was reversed. Things like that. I would hope that the homeowners could somehow see Nate's reports on the individual site visits that were done. I think that would help them in the abatement hearing. And then, so let me move on from that, because the other question I have is a lot more practical too, I think, is how will people know when their abatements will be heard? So do they have to plan on coming to every Board of Assessor meeting to participate in public comment?
there will be an executive session, and the public comment will end after after the people who show up for the first meeting have spoken.
So if all 400 people, let's take the extreme, show up at the first meeting, there's no way they can all comment, public comment that first session, so they have to show up at the next meeting?
That is correct.
I think that puts a big burden on residents, considering your meetings start at 3 o'clock. I mean, people probably have to arrange their schedules in order to, attend, and to sit for an hour, hoping they could make their public comment, only to not be able to and have to make arrangements to come the next week.
Well, you've got to remember the public comment is going to be limited to new information only, because
I know. But again, okay, so that goes back to what is new information if people don't know the details of Nate's report or MFS report on the recent site visit.
Well, obviously, to me, new information would be something that happened to the property. And that may not even be, correct me if I'm wrong, that's not even, because we're talking about assessment based on prior years, right?
The assessment's based on 1/1/22.
Yeah, the assessment is based on 2022 values and property values. And
I find it difficult if people don't know what the current, what the Nate's recommendation is for current value of their home. And the information that led to that current assessment.
Well, at that point, if they're not happy with that, they're gonna have to go to the ATB.
Which is several months and yet more money. So that's something to consider too.
I mean, when you consider what's gone through with each one of these, a site visit, which in many cases haven't been done for quite a while. This is pretty comprehensive.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to make it so people have, residents have been neglected information for a long time now. And I'm trying to get them information to help them with this abatement hearing, so that can be done and they don't have to,
Well,
Jackrabbit to get in.
well,
So they don't
I
have
think-
to go to ATB.
I think you've made your point, Renee, and I appreciate that, but I'd like to give other people a chance to
Yep.
speak. Thank you. Who's that, Dave McDonald?
Yeah, how you doing? Good afternoon. One question is, are we saying Nate did not give the individual houses his recommendations of what the tax rate should, or the tax should be, the tax bill?
No,
I'm asking you, Mr. Chair.
yeah, I don't know the answer to that.
We should know the answer to that, Mr. Chair.
Thanks.
You know, people are getting very, very, very frustrated. It's now May 11th, and we still don't know what we're doing. Or excuse me, May 16th. This is awful. And on top of that, people now are getting their bills for next year, and they have to pay an extra $500-600 a month. I sent you guys a letter 2 weeks ago asking, could you send a letter to the homeowners, telling them, explain to the banks that there was an error on this. That hasn't been done. Nothing's being done by this board. And I'm telling you, people are getting upset, including myself. I mean, we've been patient with you guys, but we're beyond patience. I just want to know, did Nate make a recommendation to you for our property on Island Road? Do you know that answer?
Yes, yes, he
Okay,
did.
did he do it? Okay, are you going to take that recommendation and do it?
Chances are, yes.
Why
That
chances are, I just want, it's yes or no.
Yes or
Are you
no,
gonna-
yes. Yes, yes. yes,
Okay,
yes.
so again, why is it going to take so long to do this? And why, excuse me,
Why can't we see it?
and why can't we see it? I'm asking you, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, well, the abatement process doesn't work that way. The abatement process says you file your abatement. We take a look at it.
We filed our abatement. That was done.
I know that. You file your abatement. We hired, the town hired an independent auditor to go in and assess these abatements, these assessments and the abatements. And we're going to go along, we're going to see what they have to say.
All right, so going back to another question, why aren't the homeowners getting a copy of that report? Can you send that out and put that on your Facebook page? Could you mail a copy to every individual home? They deserve it. A copy from Nate.
Well,
I mean, that's-
usually the abatement meeting comes first and the results are presented to the homeowner at that point.
All right, what about the letter that the Board of Assessors can write to the homeowners, send it to their banks, telling them that there was an error done on the accounting of the taxes, and that they should suspend that until you find out what the error is. People are getting crucified, not once now, but twice. And now you're saying it could take another few months. People are they're double paying. It's awful. Absolutely awful. And I know I don't want to take up any more of your time, but I'm going to tell you, it's awful what's going on here. And I think you guys got to take a look at yourselves and say, what can we do to correct this for the residents of town? Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. I don't see, is there any other? Are there any other comments, questions? Well, then we'll cut off public comment.
Can't put my hand up.
Oh,
It's Bill Hudson again,
okay.
90 Hemlock Drive. I think what we're all trying to understand is that we see Nate's report and he says if it's an average, the property will go up 17%. If it's good, it'll go up 55%. That's my understanding. Is my property good or is it average? We don't know that. I have 7,000 feet of hilly land that I can't use. It's all within the buffer zone and so on and so forth. My house, I'm fine with. but I'm up $300,000 from a brand new home when the assessment was done. So, here we are frustrated. Yes, my mortgage just went up $500 a month before this next bill comes out. So we would like to know.
We will,
And we don't have a chance unless we go to every meeting, and then you already have the information in front of you and say, okay, we're going to accept this, but someone else may already have an issue with it.
like I told Dave, the way the abatements work.
You mute yourself again, Bill, you're echoing.
Say what?
The way the abatements, the work is the way,
All right. I was listening to
the way the abatements work is it goes through the Board of Assessors, it's approved or denied. And then you will receive a letter giving you the amount of the abatement, correct? Yes. Are there any others? Thanks, Bill, for muting. So,
There's another hand up.
Rich Pearson? Are you muted? I don't. Mr. Pearson? Oh, he's not answering. Tom Alonso?
Hello.
Oh, here's Rich.
Hey, how are you?
Good,
I
thanks.
just had a quick question. It doesn't sound like there is individual reports. It sounds like it's a general general letter that I did read, and average house is going up a certain percentage and whatnot. There was also some footer notes if you had right of ways. Just making sure that the board isn't just going by the percentages, that they'll look at the notes on each abatement, take into consideration right of ways, etc.
That's why the process is going to take extra time, is because we will be looking at each property as an individual entity, not just automatically doing it blanket across the board.
Okay. So what CJ said was that there really is no individual letters. It's a general, percentage wise, and then you're going to really drill it down per the abatement.
Correct.
That is
Okay.
correct.
Thank you very much.
Tom?
Thanks, Mr. Chair. I just want to urge, I know some other people have commented already, and I'll just put my support behind their comments, that I understand full well what the abatement process is in a normal year. And if there's any year that is as far away from a normal year as possible, this is it. And I would say that, having homeowners going through in the dark, paying lots of extra money while they get to this point, I think in all fairness, any data you could give them, even if it's outside of the normal, what would be the normal every year process, so they know what the investor or the site visit reported and what Nate and his firm reported. I think it's just fair that they get that before their abatement hearing, so they know what they're even looking at. I mean, I think that if you read the report, as I'm sure you all have, I think one of the previous speakers talked about that he divided the lake properties into 3 categories: average, good, and below average. And I think that speaker's request about, okay, where am I in that? I'd like to know where Nate puts my property, is only fair before the homeowner's abatement is heard, just so they know how to prepare. I don't think it's a great idea, both from a public relations standpoint and from a process standpoint, given where we are, to say, okay, if you don't like what happens, then you can go to the ATB. I think everybody knows they can go to the ATB. I think what we're trying to do is streamline the process with as little rancor or little additional rancor as possible, and make the process finally one that involves the homeowners. That is my take on it.
Well, to give you my opinion, Mr. Alonso, the thing would be the easiest way to do it. We're going to start the abatements next week. Would be to give us as much time as possible to get them out to you. That way, there administratively, it would be a nightmare to send a letter out to every single homeowner. By giving us the okay, by letting us do our job next week, a good number of the people will have answers. Hopefully it can go very, very smoothly, and a good number of people will have answers within a month.
Okay, well, I would just one last point. One of the first speakers indicated it would be nice to have a schedule about what abatements you plan to hear so that people know when they should appear in that meeting and not have everybody appear every meeting. Because I think, again, that puts a big burden on the homeowners. You must know, you must have a list of who requested abatements. I don't think it's too much to ask to say, hey, these are the ones we're going to hear on this date. And those are the people that should show up. And the next day, this is the people who should show up, to at least do it in an orderly fashion that people know what to expect and when their property will be decided upon.
It's easier said than done, mainly because the abatements came in a certain schedule. These inspections were done on a neighborly basis. So we've got two sets, and like I said, we just got this information today. So we haven't even gone through it ourselves. And one more time, to let people know that your hearing is on such and such a day means letters going out, and it's going to be an administrative nightmare. So we thought that the easiest way to do it would be to have the public comment up front, 1 hour, and hopefully we can get and again new information only, which should limit a lot of people. So by doing that, it will enable us to get to these abatements, and giving us a couple of hours over and above that 1 hour until town hall closes on Tuesdays. We'll try to get as many as possible.
Okay, I don't think that's going to work well for residents, but I understand where you're coming from. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Go
Mr.
ahead,
Chair.
Dave. Yes.
Another question is, what is your schedule for these abatements? Are you going to be working 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, morning to night?
We don't know. We're going to start next Tuesday. The abatement hearings will start at 4 o'clock after the 1 hour, and we're going to do as many as we can. We're going to see how quickly they can be done. Who knows? The first day we might get 50 done. That'll give us an idea. That means that we'll probably have to work about 8 days, and with a little bit of luck, we can get these things done.
So I guess my question would be, are you doing it from Monday through Thursday? The abatement process?
We're looking to do it hopefully starting on Tuesday. And like I said, we don't know exactly what we can get done. We'll do what we can.
And the backpedal about the letter to the residents in regards to send to their banks. Did you guys write a letter and send that out?
No,
You can't do that?
not really. I think it's your responsibility.
To let the banks know that the town messed up?
Really?
The town.
It's our responsibility?
The town did not mess up.
Yeah, it did.
Never mind. I'm just gonna ask you.
Wait, Mr. Chair, if the town tax rate was 135% and MFS is saying it's going to be anywhere from 17 to 55%, how did the town not mess up? I'm confused now.
Well, the department, we went, the first assessments were done in accordance with the standards as set forth by the Department of Revenue. And they approved these things.
Mr. Chair, we know that's wrong. So again,
Okay.
if you look at the report,
Okay, I'm not
The
gonna
town-
argue with you. I'm not gonna argue with you.
I'm not going to argue with you, but I want to make sure that the town people at least get some kind of explanation to send to their banks. And if you're saying the town didn't make a mistake, that's fine. Please say that and make it clear. I want to know. If the town didn't make a mistake on the calculation, then you shouldn't be doing any kinds of abatements. Is that correct?
Thank
It's
you
not
very
funny,
much.
Mr. Chair. Mr.
Thank
Chair,
you very
this isn't
much.
funny. I'm sorry?
I said, thank you very much.
All right, so I'm gonna get a letter, or what are you gonna do?
No, we're not going to give you a letter.
That's all I need to know. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
You're welcome. Anybody else? I ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to go into executive session, not to return to to public session.
Second. All in favor?
Individual roll call.
Oh, yes, individual.
Aye. Kevin Fish.
Aye, Richard Letard. All in favor? Yeah, aye.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.